Welcome to our new Escreen and Specimen Specialist DNA program. We would like to take this time to review collection procedures with you to assure that the tests are done properly and in accordance with DNA Diagnostic Center's guidelines. The DNA program is being offered in partnership with Escreen, Specimen Specialists of America, and DNA Diagnostic Center. In this training, we will discuss the support that is offered through Specimen Specialists of America, and we will also cover the chain of custody collection procedures so you can become a master at DNA collections. Specimen Specialist support. Our helpline is available Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. Central Standard, with DNA experts that can assist clinic staff if they have any questions about testing procedures. You may also email any general questions you have to Cassandra Ramsey at cramsey@ssoai.com. The chain of custody is a record of all individuals who have had physical possession of sample evidence at any time. Maintaining the chain of custody is vital for any type of evidence, and proper documentation is critical to maintaining its integrity. The fewer people handling the sample, the better. Because extremely small samples of DNA can be used as evidence, specimen collectors must be very careful to avoid contamination from other DNA sources when collecting samples. Proper client ID must be obtained by the collector prior to the sample collection. Acceptable means of identification include a government-issued photo ID. You will need the following supplies in order to perform a DNA collection: the chain of custody and client ID form, tamper tape, envelopes, swab sticks, plastic Ziploc bags to seal the paperwork and samples in, shipping labels, gloves. All items except for the gloves will be provided to you free of charge by specimen specialists. Proper identification must be obtained by the collector prior to the sample collection. Normally, a photograph of all clients collected must be taken with the camera, and the photo is to be sealed in the collection bag with the samples. We have been given authorization to use an alternate method for photographing the clients when they come in for the collection. Instead of using a camera to photograph the clients, you will instead make a photocopy of their ID card. Acceptable forms for legal adults include a valid government-issued passport, a state ID, driver's license, and military ID cards. You must remember to photocopy the ID card and include it inside the plastic Ziploc bag with the sample. Acceptable identification for children includes a school ID, a birth certificate, a social security card, a medical card. Basically, any formal document showing the child's name. The guardian can also bring in a recent photograph that the collector can identify as the same child that has been brought in for the collection. The photo should be signed and dated by both the guardian and the collector and sent in with the samples. If the guardian brings in the formal document, please remember to also photocopy that and include it inside the bag with the samples. This document is called the Client Identification Form and Chain of Custody Form. It is required to be completed by the collector, never the client, and it must be sealed into the sample collection bag along with the swabs and will be sent to the lab for processing. Do not leave any section of the form blank. Use legible handwriting, only blue or black ink. If you make a mistake, do not use whiteout. Simply mark a line through the error, initial, and then write the correct information next to the error. You must complete the client information block for every person you are collecting DNA from on the case. The information is mandatory, and the entire box must be completed for each party collected. If the client is not present, leave the corresponding section blank. For example, if only the alleged father has been scheduled for collection at your clinic, fill out the client information block for the alleged father and then leave the mother and the child's information block blank. Adult clients and the legal custodians of any minor being collected need to read the terms and conditions on the back of the form. After the client reads the terms and conditions, have them sign in the appropriate box on the front of the form. Legal guardians must sign on behalf of anyone under the age of 18 that is being tested. You are required to complete the bottom of the form under the area titled Collector's Statement. Be sure that the collector's signature and the date of collection are complete and accurate. Also make sure to complete the facility information and include your Escreen ID number on the field marked Facility. Clinics will not receive the results of the DNA test. Instead, DDC, which is the laboratory, will mail the results directly to the client once all parties' samples have been received. It is very important that the client provides an address to where they want a copy of the results to be sent to. If this section is blank, no results will be mailed out. The video on the next slide will demonstrate how to correctly swab and package the samples in accordance with DNA Diagnostic Center specifications. It is very important that you only use the swab kits that have been provided to you by specimen specialists. Never hold a specimen kit open. Legal DNA testing requires that the client witness his or her sample being sealed into the plastic Ziploc bag with tamper tape prior to leaving the collection room.
This short instructional video will provide you with the knowledge and the tools to successfully collect DNA using buccal swabs. Samples collected following these procedures establish a solid chain of custody that will be court admissible. So let's go through the process. First, properly identify the clients that are to be collected. Requirements may vary depending on jurisdiction, but at a minimum, you will need to examine a government-issued photo ID. This may be a state driver's license, passport, military ID, or another form of government-issued photo identification. If the patient does not have an acceptable ID, stop the collection process and check with your office contact for further instructions. Put on protective gloves. Use of gloves reduces the risk of contamination from one sample to the next, and it provides protection for the collector. Open the swab envelope by pulling the packaging down over the handle tips of the swabs. The sharper ends of the swabs will break through the plastic or paper protective covering, allowing access to the individual swabs. Remove one swab at a time. Ask the client to open their mouth and rub the inside of the cheek about midway between the upper and lower gum lines. Alternate from one side of the cheek to the other as you collect additional swabs. The collection process will obtain cells that slough off naturally, not saliva. Stay above where saliva might gather in the lower pockets of the mouth. Rub firmly while rotating the swab to ensure an adequate collection of cells. 8 to 10 seconds should be sufficient. It is important to collect only one person's sample at a time. Complete the labeling and packaging of that sample before moving on to collect the next individual. Once you have verified that the documents are complete, gather your sample envelopes, your completed chain of custody, and place them all in the 4x8 inch zipper-type bag. Seal the closure with the tamper-proof tape provided and sign and date the tape. Place this completed collection in the overnight courier envelope. If you have additional collections, proceed with the next collection before sealing the overnight courier envelope or bag. You will need to retain the tear-off tracking record and follow the local procedures for package pickup. You're done!
Now that you have reviewed the proper collection procedures in this slideshow, you are ready to take your online exam to complete your certification. If you complete the exam with an 80% or better, you will have the option to print your certificate at the end of the exam. If you have lost the link to the online exam, Please call our hotline or email Cassandra Ramsey so she can forward you the link. Your registration will not be complete until you have passed the online exam within 80% or better.